Welcome back to Coin Talk. I'm Pete. Today we look at the controversial statement: ancient coins, a horrible investment? I was discussing ancient coins as a viable investment option with a prominent ancient coin YouTuber in a Facebook group, and he made the statement: ancient coins are a horrible investment. I had to think about my response for a minute. He disappeared when I began to start typing my counter argument. So I paused for a moment and thought to myself that that statement contradicted itself. Investments go up and down. At some times they spike, just like Tesla stock did a few months ago, or craters like US stocks after Liberation Day. Some people, like Aaron Burke, have spent their entire lives investing, selling, and purchasing ancient coins. Because there are so many businesses involved in buying and selling ancient coins, there must be profit involved in the exercise. Now, I might agree with what this YouTuber said, that ancient coins are not good historically as, let's say, real estate, the S&P, or the Nasdaq. Putting all your money in any one sector is a bad idea. It was Harry Markowitz that said the only free lunch is diversification. That just doesn't mean buy different stocks. That means buy other assets that are not connected to markets, like secondary assets, and maybe even assets that don't have third party risk, assets that you can hold in your own safe. Now, this is important, so I'm going to say it one more time. Diversification is the only free lunch. When you get a financial event like Liberation Day, it's nice being able to hold assets that are not affected by the overall market. Foreign coins actually went up after Liberation Day because of the anticipation of the Trump tariffs on auctions and overall import costs. Timing, market conditions, purchase choices, expertise, and sector size in the portfolio are critical factors in making money on your numismatic investment. Let's start with timing. Don't get caught up in the animal spirits of an auction. If a coin has multiple bids and the room is getting into the manliness contest, it's time to take a break. Buying your Marcus Aurelius Denarius right after the movie Gladiator comes out might not be a good idea. Strength and honor. But sorry to say, Gladiator 2 is not going to affect the value of your Geta or Caracalla coins. The movie was awful. Popular movies, wealthy investors, economic trends, and social media can cause the price to surge on a particular type of coin. Don't be a crypto bro and FOMO into an expensive coin that you can't afford. And the adverse is true as well. A large coin collection being dumped on the market can affect the value of that coin that you really stretched your budget for. Market conditions, interest rates plummeting can directly affect anything connected with secondary markets. Bullion, numismatic coins, art, Pokemon cards, and old whiskey bottles tend to go up in value when the Federal Reserve slashes the Fed funds rate and money gets cheap. Unfortunately, sometimes that causes a spike in inflation, but that's a story for another day. And yes, I did say old whiskey bottles. I saw an interview on the David Lynn Report of a Wall Street trader that started buying 16th century whiskey bottles as an investment. Now, after 100 years, the whiskey is undrinkable. So, really, you're buying a very expensive historical decoration that you can't even drink. The business was so successful, though, that he had to quit his Wall Street job and go into business selling these bottles full time. It sounds silly to you and me, but some people make millions on what others call horrible investments. Purchase choices. Purchase the best coins you can with the money you have. If they are beautiful to you and are most likely beautiful to most. Most collectors say they purchase rare coins, but I'm going to add if it's a dog of a coin, people aren't going to want to look at it. But rarity can be important. Look for undervalued markets. Warren Buffett says buy assets when they are cheap. That means when no one is looking. And that may also mean holding an asset as it goes sideways for many years. Gold took a break for nearly a decade, and now it's beating the S&P. Expertise. Read books. Talk to people. You need to develop your knowledge of a particular coin. If you are a Roman imperial guy, do your due diligence before purchasing an expensive German taler. Surf beaches that you're familiar with so you don't get eaten by sharks. Let's talk about the last one and perhaps the most important. Allocation is everything. I'm going to say this once again. Allocation is everything. Ancient coins are not the best asset, but they're not horrible either. So it is an asset, so that means it'll make you richer over time. Unlike cars, boats, fancy restaurants, luxury clothes. But there are some rules. The most important one is that ancient coins should only make up a small part of your net worth. Most money managers say that less than 1% of your overall portfolio and less is better till you learn how to make better purchases. The bulk should be in stocks, bonds, real estate. And I know that sounds boring, but those boring investments are the ones that are going to get you to retirement. The diversification effect of secondary assets like ancient coins in a portfolio is absolutely priceless. So let's wrap this up with a story. My dad was an investor in his early years in apartments and duplexes. His first big purchase was a big apartment building that he had lots of problems with, but made quite a bit of money because it had multiple units. After that experience, he began buying beachfront property that he got to use in the summertime. He still made money, but not as much as he did with his apartments. But it was less headaches, and he thoroughly enjoyed having access to the beach in the summertime. I think it is a good example of my relationship with ancient coins. It's not real estate or Tesla stock, but I love exploring history through coins. It's a little like a time machine, and there's profit to be made with time and smart purchasing. So when a guy at your coin club says ancient coins are a horrible investment, make sure you say allocation and diversification are everything. Adam Taggart always says on Thoughtful Money, it takes different opinions to make a market. No one person has all the answers. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Coin Talk. And remember, every coin has a market price and a story to tell if you're patient enough to listen. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the show. Coin Story focuses on the history of a single coin. Coins move through the ages from hand to hand and from decade to century. These coins represent the work and culture of the people that own them. Every coin has a story to tell if you're patient enough to listen. Take a little time out of your day and join me for a walk back in time. Every coin has a life, and each coin tells a story.